Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ServeManager webinar. Today is our Pro Series webinar, and we're going to be going over collaboration. Collaboration is one of ServeManager's most widely used features, and it's a bit complex, so we're going to go over it here today. A couple things about the webinar. For those of you today attending and watching on Zoom, we're going to answer all of those questions here today at the end of the webinar. You can communicate with us over at the Q&A section located inside of your Zoom toolbar. If you're following at home, watching on Facebook, or if you're watching a recording of this webinar, you can reach out to us over at help@servemanager.com. That's HELP@servemanager.com, and we'll be able to resolve any of your questions there. So let's dive right in. And first off, let's begin with explaining what is collaboration. Well, collaboration is when you use your account and share information, specific job information, with either a contract process server or with your client. Now, this information, you'll be able to control what you share, and you'll also be able to share it in real time. So if an attempt's been made by a contract process server, once they share it with you, and they can be able to share it immediately, you will be able to see that attempt inside of your account. Same with your clients. If your client needs to have updates on a job or needs specific documents, they'll be able to view that information in real time. So inside of collaboration, we have two different accounts. Because collaboration will allow you to create a free account for somebody, they're limited access. So we have two different types of limited access accounts. One is for law firms, a limited access account for law firms, and we also have an option for limited access account for contract process servers. Now let me go over the differences between those two accounts. So free law firm accounts can create jobs. They can view updates, and they can receive invoices. Now law firms, their limitations come in that they're only going to be able to collaborate with one company. And law firm accounts cannot create attempts. So as a subscriber, you of course can send out as many collaboration invites as you'd like. And of course, as a full subscriber, you can create jobs, create attempts, invoices, everything else. It's just because this is a free limited access account, they're only able to do certain things. Now for a process server account, once again, they're only able to do certain things as well. So a free process server account, they can create attempts, and they can collaborate with multiple companies. However, they're not going to be able to create invoices. A free process server account cannot create jobs, and a free process server account cannot create employees. So the one login for the free process server account is the only login that we'll be able to have as a free process server account. And of course, either a free law firm account or free process server account can be upgraded to a full member subscription. And as a subscriber, you'll have the full suite of ServeManager functions available to you. So let's go in a little bit deeper. So collaboration in action. So in the middle there would be your account, your subscribed account. And as you can see, you'd be able to create collaborators, either law firms or free process servers, and you're able to create as many as you'd like. You have the full functionality of ServeManager. You have all the functions that we have available. And you're also able to control the flow of information. So if you have a law firm, let's say they created a job and have assigned it to you, when they create a job, this free law firm account, that job will appear inside of your ServeManager account. So it will just appear on your job list like every other job that we have. They would also be able to view updates that you've decided to share with them. And we'll go over sharing in just a minute here once we dive into the program. But the free accounts or contractors in general, even if you are collaborating with subscribers, they're still not going to be able to communicate with each other. All the communication will flow through you. So if you have a process server that has created an attempt, you could choose whether or not you would like that attempt to be visible to your client. And let's say that your client has uploaded some information. You could choose whether or not to share that with the process server by choosing whether or not to assign them to that job. So, like I mentioned before, the law firm and the process server, when you're collaborating with both of them, they won't be able to communicate with each other directly. All that communication will flow through you. All right, so I got a few accounts here that I have set up, and we're going to go over those really quick. So first, let's go into my test account here. And as you can see, I've already created just a dummy job with my collaboration process server. And then here, I'm able to actually show you today what this looks like in our collaboration process server account. So here we are inside of the limited access account. As you can see, it has the banner at the top that says limited contractor account. We can go down here and we can see this job. We can click on it and we can see all the information that we have loaded already onto this account. It's very similar to what we already have in here on my subscription account. Now, as you can see here, so this is my real account. This is the subscriber account that we're in right now. And as you can see, my client is listed as the collaboration law firm test, and my process server is listed as the collaboration test process server. Now, when I go back into the process server account, you can see that the client is listed as me. So my process server doesn't have any idea who my client is. It's listing myself as the client because, like I mentioned before, all the information flows through the subscription account. So we're going to go back to our subscribed account here. Sorry. And we're going to begin a collaboration. So I'm going to show you this whole process here. To collaborate with a client or contractor, you need to assign them at least one job. Once you have one job assigned to them, you can go back into their company screen. You can do so by just clicking on that link right there at the top. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. All right, so then I can get to that client by just clicking on this client name link. And then this will open up our company screen, taking me to the company screen in question. So here I could select the invite and collaborate button. And when I do so, it gives me the option to pick which type of collaboration account that we would like to collaborate with. So like I mentioned earlier, collaborating with a law firm will allow them to create jobs. So a law firm that would create jobs and assign it to us. If that's what we would like, we can invite them as a law firm. Or if we'd like to have somebody that would be able to create attempts and notes and be able to view updates, then we could invite a process server. Since this is the law firm, we'll invite the law firm. And now we've sent an invitation to my account. Give it 1 second here, and I'll be able to show you this invitation. So when you get an invitation like this, it will appear like this inside of your email account. It says that the following person has invited you to collaborate, and that you can follow this link to accept the invitation. So if you go and you click on this invitation link, what it will do is that it will bring you to a page asking you to create your new account. Let's say that you're already a subscriber though, and you would like to collaborate with somebody else. Clicking on this link will just automatically collaborate your two companies behind each other using your browser. And because your browser is already signed into ServeManager, it already knows your account and will sign you right in. If for whatever reason, let's say that you are a subscriber and that you go to click this link and it asks you to create a new account, don't create a new account. Actually, just take this link right here, as you can see, and just copy it. And you can just paste it right inside of your address bar right here. So where you'd have www.servemanager.com, you could take this link with all of its information here, copy the entire link, and place it right here in your address bar. All right, so let's go into some sharing functions inside of ServeManager. We can make collaboration even a little bit easier and make it even easier and customize it so we can share information just the way that you would like. So we can do so by going into settings. And then we go down to this section for email notifications. Inside of our email notifications here, you can save all of this information. Sorry, we just lost that. We can save all of this information about how we would like to share our information. So if we'd like to email our clients whenever they have a new job, we can check this box right here. If we'd like to email servers or contract servers when they have a new job, we can also check these boxes. Every time that there's a new job, this would generate an email to that contact listed inside of the job. Below this, we can get down to auto-check email contacts. Now, these will be people that will be auto-checked for an email when the following are created. So for service attempts, if we'd like to automatically email our client contact or our process server contact, we can check these boxes and we can have an automatic email be sent or have these boxes automatically checked every time that we either create an attempt, a note, or affidavit. And same thing with visibility. So visibility means that we can make these things appear in the other account. So here, back for example, and this works very similarly to our email contacts. It's just deciding what's automatically checked and what isn't. So I'll go back to jobs. So here I can do a new attempt. And inside of this new attempt, we could choose our process server, the service type, We could enter in all of this information. We could just make this a non-serve just for example purposes. And then down here, these are our share box and our email boxes. So as you see, I had the automatic visible to our server who we're collaborating with. If I accepted the invitation for the client, they would be visible right here. And then we can check our boxes off. These were automatically checked because that's what we set in our settings. And then watch, I'll make this not visible to the server. And when I save, you'll see inside the job, oops, I'll just save a dummy address there. And you'll be able to see inside the job, because we didn't make it visible to the server, it will mark inside the job itself that it's not visible to the server. So as you can see, this red X means that it's not visible to the server. So let's go back into our servers account, our limited access free process servers account. And let's create an attempt here. Now I can make this not visible to the client, or I can make it visible, and I'll save. Now, as you can see, that attempt that we made not visible to our server isn't visible onto our server side. But when I go back to our side and back into the subscription account, because we did share this with the client, we go back in here and we can refresh this page. And we can see that service right here. And you can see it came from our collaboration test process server account, and that information is listed right there. If you ever want to change something, make something not visible or visible, you can use this share link right here. This will generate your share boxes back up. It will always provide you the information of who this was previously emailed to. And then we can change this information. We can make it visible to the server. I'll update it. We'll go back into our server account. As you can see, we have one attempt there. We'll refresh. And now both are visible. So we can share this information in real time across accounts to different people, making collaboration a great time saver, eliminating double entry, and just making the flow of information even easier. And because you as a subscriber control how your information flows from your client to your process server, you can make sure that nobody receives any sort of surprises, that there's no unauthorized contact. You control that information flow. All right, we're going to go back into our subscription account here. A couple things to make note of. Now, when you set up your employees have permissions. So here I can open up one of our employees here. And then you can set up permissions. So if you would like somebody to be able to share or contact collaborators, be sure that they have the permission to enable email and sharing. And that way, they will have the ability to use the share links and to email either your clients or your process servers. They'll need that to be enabled to use any of these shared boxes. Now, also back in our accounts, I'm going to go back and I'm going to explain something a little bit deeper. We have this setting to email clients or to email process servers, contract process servers on new jobs. What that email setting will do is that will email the owners, people listed as owners inside of that company. And it will also email the contact listed on the job itself. And that's just for new jobs. For notes, affidavits, and attempts, it's just going to be the person selected. So it's the person that checked off in that box. And we can have automatic check boxes by adjusting your settings right here inside of your settings screen. Let's say that you have a contact over at a law firm that is an owner, and maybe they don't want to receive every email, but they still want to log in to ServeManager and have access to ServeManager. In that sort of scenario, we would suggest using an email filter. Our emails are pretty standard subject lines. So if you would like to just kind of remove somebody so that they don't receive those new job emails, but you'd still like some people to receive new job emails, then we would suggest that that one particular person puts an email filter onto their email box that will filter out those specific emails in question. So that's the basics of collaboration, but I have a couple common issues that I'd like to go over. So for one, let's say that you have set up a company and that you go to invite the client and then you receive an error in return and it says that the email is already listed inside of your account. If that is the case, what we suggest doing is going into your company screen, using the search box and searching for that email. What tends to happen is that email address is probably listed on another collaborator's account, more than likely listed as a contact, maybe not the primary contact inside of that account. So if they're listed as a contact in that account, they can't be listed into another collaborating account. So we would just suggest removing that contact from the already collaborating account and then using that email address for the new email or for the new contact to collaborate with. Another common issue that people have is that they may have a specific affidavit that they use. And when they ask their contract process server to generate that affidavit, it's not available for them because it's a customized one located only in your account. In those situations, we recommend that you create the affidavit yourself. So inside of your own account, you would go and create the affidavit. Then you would just provide a note to your contract process server to go back in and press the sign and save button so they can apply their signature to that affidavit. And then the last issue that comes up with collaboration, and this is the most common issue that we deal with in ServeManager in general, and that's people asking how to add another contact to a collaborated account. So the way that collaboration works is that your account is completely different than your collaborator's account, than your contractor's account. So when your contractor sets up their account, it's going to be completely independent from what you have created in your own account. The only thing that will carry over is that you will be listed, the person that sent the invitation will be listed as the primary contact for the company that will be generated inside of their account. Everything else is independent. So if you were to go and add in, let's say into one of our test accounts, if I were to add in a bunch of different contacts right here in this screen, they would not be added into our collaborator's account. What would happen is that these would just be more contacts that we'd list over here. We would be able to email them this information, but they would not be given their own logins. For them to be given their own logins, they will need to be invited as an employee on your collaborator's side. So once you send an invitation to either a client or collaborator or a contractor, and they would like to have more contacts or have more logins for their own account, you won't be able to add them. They will have to add them on their end. We do this specifically to prevent unauthorized access. So for example, if you were collaborating with another company and they decided that they would like to know everybody that you're working for or everybody that's, you know, a contact for you, they could send an invitation, they could set up another contact here inside of their account, be given that access, and then have unauthorized access into your account. The reason that we make them go through and have them add employees on their own end is because this way we can prevent complete unauthorized access, because the person that you've invited will also be the person that will have to set up additional employees. So if you ever have a question about adding another person to a collaborator's account, they'll just have to do it on their end. So folks, that is the basics of our ServeManager collaboration webinar. Let me go back here. I'm going to go through my questions here on Zoom. I appear to have no questions on my Zoom. I'll give it another minute or so. Of course, if you have any sort of other questions, or if you're not attending this webinar on Zoom, you can email us over at help@servemanager.com. That's HELP at servemanager.com with any sort of comments, questions, or concerns about collaboration. All right, I have a question from James Gregg, who's asking, is there a way to tweak the system to make it work for PI investigations as well as process service? We have limited customization availability. ServeManager was built specifically for process serving. It was not built for independent investigations. But if generating forms and keeping track of information will help you perform your tasks, we can be able to, ServeManager can do that for you. We can customize documents. We have limited availability of customizing or generating additional fields for you to input more information in for your job. You can just let us know specifically what you're looking for. Over at help@servemanager.com, you can email us the specifics and we can let you know what's possible and what isn't possible. Folks, are there any other questions? All right, folks. Well, I'd like to thank you very much for attending the webinar today. Hopefully it was informative. And if you have any sort of other questions about ServeManager in general, or if you just want to talk about how great it is, you can email us over at help@servemanager.com, or you can give us a buzz at 800-280-4400. We're here during normal business hours, Monday through Friday. Folks, thanks again for attending, and have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.